Hello and welcome to part 6 of my push button tutorial. Since last time I went ahead and cleaned up the push button animation just a little bit. So I fixed up a little bit on the feet so it's currently looking a little bit stiff, but I also sped it up a little bit, so it's now 41 frames long. And I'm gonna make this animation available as a download along with this video. So anyway, let's continue and see how we can activate this. So we go into the third person character here. We currently have this stuff for the interaction. We should maybe comment this out and just call it interaction. And let's just keep it here for now. We have a mouse button probably set up, so left mouse button. So whenever we press the left mouse button, we want to push a button or activate this animation here. So for this, I'm gonna be adding a variable saying if we are pushing a button. Pushing a button. And we're going to set this to be true here. And we don't, the reason why I put this here is because if I just, well, it's going to be clear in a moment. Anyway, so what I'm going to do also is going to tell the animation blueprint that we are pushing a button so we can activate the animation. So get anim instance and cast this third person NMBP, and since I'm going to connect this up here, and this we're probably going to be using this quite a lot. I'm going to collapse this to a macro just as well, and call this something else, BP. And actually we want to exit here and also return this one. Just make it a little bit shorter, okay? So we want to create a similar boolean here on the animation blueprint. So add a variable for this, pushing button, okay. And we also want to set this pushing button to be true as well. In case you change the logic at some point, it might be better off doing something like this, so it's synchronized with whatever's happening here. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement the stuff in here. Right. So whenever we push the button, we want to do something here. Actually, first of all, if we play this, no. Okay, weird. And if I press my mouse now, currently nothing is happening, of course. But let's say I'm all the way out here and I don't have anything to push. Obviously, I don't want to be trying to trigger the animation. So that's something we should take care of also. So an easy way to do this is to check if we have highlighted interactable at all here. So get this one, convert it to a validated get, and then just hook this up. That means it's just gonna fall out here if we don't have a valid button available. Okay. So the way we should we can implement this is in a few ways. I'm gonna show one simple way. inside the animation blueprint here, we come to the animation graph, and we have the default state machine here. We can blend per bow by bow, this one, and just blend into a different animation depending on what we have here. So if we are pushing the button, we want to play back our push button press animation. Okay, I use a number of variations here, I see. So this is just a very simple way of doing this. So obviously he's not gonna stop pushing, he's gonna just keep looping now. Okay, so in order to get rid of that, we want to add a little notifier towards the end of this animation here. So just scroll to the last end of it and add a notifier saying finished it's a really long name. You can probably come up with a better name. And then under anim notifiers, it was actually at the top here. Just pick that one. And then we want to set this pushing button to be false. Set this to be false. And we also want to tell our character that we are not pushing the button anymore. So get owning actor. And connect that one up and set. And as we did before, I think it's a good thing always to create a macro for this kind of stuff here, because it's something you will be doing quite a lot in a way. So rename this. Well, get character. And maybe I like to rename these, should be just a little bit. Third person PP, just a little bit more compact. Like this. So that basically tells us that we're no longer pushing the button, and also the third person character does know this now. So when I push the button, he's going to play back the animation and return to the regular state here. And this could actually just work just as it is, except that the hand is just not following the correct location right now. And when we try and click out here, nothing happens, and that's really good. So the thing is, if I press the button and start to move immediately, he's gonna just slide away. All right. So this is actually coming down to a little bit of a design decision here, because we can either decide that he needs to be standing still whenever he's pushing the button, or we can decide that it's okay to always move, but if he does move and he's not pushed the button, we don't activate the button. So since there's going to be a few frames of animation until he reaches the button, well, you can decide something here. But for now, I'm going to be saying whenever he pushed the button, he shouldn't be allowed to be moving during that time here. So we have the movement input here, so I'm just going to put a little guard up here for the movement left and right during that time here. So if he's pushing a button, I'm going to use my this one, so branch, and say if we are pushing a button. If we're not pushing a button, might want to do this the opposite way, just saying not like this. and also replicate that stuff over here. Actually, whenever you duplicate stuff, it's actually usually a good sign that you should create a macro or function. So in this case, I'm gonna create a macro, pushing, or let's just call it can move. And inside here, whatever logic we need to check for if he's allowed to move, we can just pack away in here. And from this one, let's call this yes, and let's make another one called no. Whoops. And then connect that up to the false. So it's just a convenient way to reuse some stuff, and you can easily just expand this and don't have to worry about replicating stuff a bunch of places. Okay. So whenever we push the button and try to move, we can't move until he's done. Okay. But as I said, you can do this in a different way. You can allow him to move, but yeah, this is an easy way to do it. Okay, let's see. So we should also add the sound to this, because I think this is a good place to do it. Yeah. So let's grab a sound. I have a sound somewhere here in my sounds folder here. I have a switch. Okay, that's not the one anyway. Well, it is, but it's not gonna play back. I'm gonna drag this in here, and I'm gonna switch my playback device to be the screen so we can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that. All right. Anyway, we have a little sound here, and we want to put that on to our button panel here. So let's add an audio. Yeah, let's just keep the name audio. And really this one is just gonna have one sound. So we can actually just set the name or the sound itself somewhere. So I'm not mistaken, sound here. And we have something called switch on. And whenever we activate this, we want to play back the sound here. So let's compile this for now and save. And we also need to take a look at how to design this, because okay, and right now it plays back immediately, and that's because we have the audio file here, and under here we have auto activate. So make sure to disable that, otherwise it's just gonna play back whenever we start the level. So you can decide that once you click your mouse button, it should play back. But I want to make this so that once the hand reaches the button, he should play back the sound here. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So what we want to do is to take the animation and find that place animation where he's reaching out, like somewhere here, and create a anim notifier for this. So new notifier, button pressed, and inside the animation BB we can hook something up to that, button pressed, and we want to tell the button or the interactable that we interacted with at this point. And the animation BP doesn't have that a reference to that. So again, we need to get the character. We can do this in a number of ways. We could say replicate this value to this blueprint, but I'm going to do it like this. So down here we can create a custom event. Oops. And call this button pressed. I used pushed and pressed. I realize pushing, pressing. I should also actually rename this one. It's a bit confusing. Pressing. Okay. And this one should be renamed as well. Like that. Pressing button and pressing button. Okay. So let's return to the custom menu we just created. We want to call this event from the animation blueprint whenever we get this animation notifier. So drag out from here and say button pressed. And inside our third person character, we can now, since we know what is highlighted, we can get a reference to this. You might wanna guard this with a validated get here, because it might have gone invalid at some point, but usually since this design here doesn't allow me to move, it will stay highlighted anyway. So anyway, we should also create some kind of interface to say that we interacted with something. And again, I would put this functionality on the interactable, the I interactable, and add a function here called interact. And for now, it's just going to be a very simple function. It's not going to take any inputs, outputs, or anything. But you definitely want to expand with it. For example, a reference back to whoever it was that interacted and so on. But for now, this demonstration, just going to leave it as a very simple one here. So on our interactable, we can now implement this function. But since it's going to be the button panel, which is inheriting from the interactable, we should put this logic here in this case here. So interact, and you can see we have a number of options to select here. And the one I want to be using is this one, interface. No, not this one. Event, this one from I interactable, yes. So what we want to do is to activate or play this audio, and for example, if you have something hooked up to this, we might take a look at that later. You can do various of other stuff here. So I want to play this just like that, and see how that sounds. And we don't get anything. And I think that's because I forgot to call it actually. So interact. And then we can call interact, target is interactable. I think interact, call function. What I think we need to do here is use the one called interface call. If I'm not mistaken. In any way, it's making the sound now. Okay, so things seems to be working okay for now. In the next video, we're going to switch to Akinema and see how we can use Akinema to make sure that he reaches the correct location. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching, and bye.